As we come to the end of this holiday season, it's typically a time of year that people start to think about change. Change the way I look, change the way I feel, change my job maybe. But change is this inevitable thing that people start to think about when the new year comes on. We make resolutions. This is a time that we start to say, I'm going to do this or that. And typically that lasts a couple of days and then we go back to what we normally do. It's very hard to make change, though change is the one thing in life that is consistent. We're always changing. And so I'd like to spend a moment or two this morning talking to you about change. I think that so often when we take on a task of changing the way that we want to live our lives, we look at it as something that we can do instantaneously, as opposed to taking it in small steps that will allow us to have great success over time. And so as we take on the thought of fitness, uh, I want to not be the person that I am right now. Um, what is it that drives that for you? I think that, that's the first thing that you have to think about is like, why do you want to change? What is it that's motivating you? So often fitness is this impulse that happens when somebody goes, oh my gosh, I can't live like this anymore. I'm going to do something, without a plan. And I think that for most of us, what we need is a plan. We need an idea of how we're going to go forward. And so I'd like to say to you right now that if you're thinking about change for the new year, create a plan for yourself. Try to think about what it is you want to do and why you want to do it. What is it that's going to take you to that place that you want to go, and why do you need to be there? Because without that thing in position for you, the likelihood of you being able to be successful is very low. And I think so often that's what happens is we make this impulse that we're going to change, but then when it really comes down to it, we don't have something that's pushing us to do it. And so we go back to what we normally do because that's easy, and change is really difficult. If we think about some of the things that need to be changed in order for fitness to work for us, starting to work out, what does that mean when you start to work out? It means that you're going to do something that's uncomfortable. You're going to get sore. You're going to have to keep on doing it. It's not something you can do for a minute and you reach this plateau. It doesn't work like that. It's something that we have to incorporate into our life. This is the way that we live. I go work out in some fashion so many times a week in order for me to achieve my goals. But in order for you to maintain yourself after you get there, you're going to have to be consistent. And so we have to look at what's realistic for ourselves. How many days a week can I realistically do this so that I can at some point get where I'm trying to go? And inherently, what happens is as we reach some source of success, we find more time. And so that being the case, find a realistic amount of time that you can put in to getting yourself in shape. If we think about eating differently, that changing your diet is hard. And, a lot of times there's a reason you don't eat the things that you're supposed to be eating, probably because you don't like it, or you can't figure out a way to fix it, or something, or time. There's lots of factors that go into us eating the way that we eat, but those factors are there when we have to change the way that we eat too. And so, you have to think about what your diet needs to look like and then take small and incremental changes in order for you to get where you're trying to go. So often people try to change everything. I'm going to go and do blah, blah, blah. The Mediterranean diet, whatever. It's something that's totally different from what they do. And so the likelihood of them being successful is zero. You fail. There's no way for you to be successful when you take this radical approach to change. So I think incrementally we need to think about changing our habits. What kind of habits do we have? Let's take one bad habit out. My wife says that I go to the drive-through window too often because of time. And so in order for me to achieve real success, the first thing I have to do is thinking about not eating out of a window. Bring my lunch with me, bring my meals with me like I used to do. That was a pattern of success for me. And so, just thinking about things like that, what is the pattern that you have on a daily basis? How do you fix it? How do you change it? And so we want to think about change in a fashion that allows us to take things that probably shouldn't be in our lives and systematically change them out. Your ability to make real progress in the fitness world is about changing the way you live and then looking at that incrementally so that it's something you can sustain for a lifetime. I have been a lifetime fitness person. It started not working in the gym. It started being a part of my life. And then I was blessed to be able to be in the industry and do it as a living. So I hope this helps you some. I plan on doing more of these. This is exciting for me to change sort of the way that I'm doing training, and a lot of it will be in these videos. And so I'm looking forward to continuing to speak to you going forward. Thank you.